please welcome on stage Steven Le Roux, CTO of Clever Cloud, and Gaspard, VP Product at Scaleway. Give him a round of applause.
Morning, Steven.
Hello, Gaspard.
Morning, everyone.
Hi, everyone.
So, Steven, I think you heard it correctly. So, Jan said more and more people are keen on, and clients are more and more keen on knowing where their data and where their application runs. How do you feel that? Do you agree with that consideration?
Yeah, I totally agree. He's really right. We see a lot more of customers coming to us asking, actually, where are the data? Not especially which data center. It's not very fine-grained precision location, but they want to be ensured that it's actually at least in France, maybe Europe, and it's a recurrent question that we wouldn't see months and years ago.
So it's kind of new, something new, people taking into consideration the place and the location where the data is consumed.
Exactly.
And from a technical perspective, so how do you address at Clever Cloud this multiplicity of clients that want different location for their data?
Well, first you have to understand maybe what is Clever Cloud and the different strategies that we have to deploy Clever Cloud, because there is a Clever Cloud in public cloud, but you can also have Clever Cloud on-premise, or in a hybrid fashion with the data plane on-premise or in a remote cloud, for example, on Scaleway. And you can still keep your control plane in the public cloud. So you can just stick an execution workloads, servers on your own cloud, on your own infrastructures. And then we connect all this together, so at least you only choose, okay, this application, I deploy it on this cloud and this one on this other cloud.
So you're basically saying that you're already in the multi-cloud era somewhat.
Yeah, actually Clever Cloud owns its own infrastructure, but we can sit on different other clouds, and then we connect all them together. And so yeah, it's kind of a multi-cloud for real, yeah.
So you're able to offer a multi-cloud offer to your clients, and what were the technical challenges for you to be able to deploy in a multi-cloud way? How did you approach that?
Yeah, maybe there are two things. The first one is how you deploy a full region that you need to operate, because it's very different to deploy the data plane, for example, or just scheduling jobs, etc. But to be able to deploy all your control plane, all your web console, all the management that is packaged in the offering, because when you deploy on-premise, we only intervene just to manage the solution, but there is no further access, and it can be in very special deployments, for example, in Secnum clouds or this kind of deployments. So there is a lot of restrictions on network flows. So you have, first of all, to package the solution, to be able to deploy it, and Clever Cloud has been built in order to be deployed. So it's a very minded packaging. Yeah.
That means from the beginning, your company was built so it can be deployed in any cloud provider, and
exactly
that is the
second point is the networking, because there is no magic, and since security is for us a very important point, we actually create an overlay network on top of other networks that by default cipher and encrypt all the traffic. So the Clever Cloud private network, for example, can connect different clouds. So you only see one network, but maybe you can have a Scaleway, you can have AWS, as we mentioned. And it's a very good strategy to get rid of also, or move from a cloud to another cloud, yeah.
So in a nutshell, you say you need to have clever deployment strategy, you need to have a strong network strategy to be able to deploy on the cloud. So it means that as a PaaS provider, you're abstracting all this complexity so that the client can just say, I want to run on multiple infrastructure.
Exactly. Well, this is actually the mission of Clever Cloud. We won't do 100% of what a cloud provider can do, but we want to be the Apple of the cloud. You know, maybe we will only do 90%, but it will 90% very easy for everyone. Yeah.
Okay, so talking about cloud abstraction, there is something important we notice at Scaleway, is that usually we have different types of clients. So in the cloud, there are clients that are like heroes. They know everything about infrastructure. They know everything about the last technologies. As opposed to people that are new to the cloud. They know more or less nothing. They just, I want to deploy my application and so that it runs and I don't have to care about it. How do you see this maturity and how does that evolve in a multi-cloud paradigm?
Yeah. So maybe it's important to have the global picture of evolution because we initially built applications so that they were aimed to run on-premise, on the server, etc. And the move to the cloud has been done in the lift and shift fashion. We take these applications and we put it on the cloud on infrastructure. Then now applications are evolving, not all of them, but most applications and most developers are evolving in their way to develop on the cloud. So they embrace what we call the threat factors, so that application can be set stateless, they can be deployed multiple instances, so that they scale well in the cloud.
So more or less coming from a monolith to microservices for cloud natives?
It's a different problem. Microservices is more a hype or a fashion today. Maybe a way to have a fine-grained granularity in your development and to be quicker, faster in iteration. But you can have a big application that actually answers the 12 factors. If you don't have the state, for example, 2 weeks ago we deployed an application that was absolutely not compatible with cloud. You cannot run 2 instances of them because it logs the database, etc. So disaster. But our product is actually thought of for this kind of application, so we can be compatible to deploy only 1 instance of them, etc. So this is the part of the lift and shift. We have to adapt to run these applications, but you will have a better experience with applications that are developed for the cloud.
And are your clients becoming more and more mature with that with those concepts?
Yeah, sure. Because we also go higher in the stack, higher with high level value product. For example, messaging as a service or this kind of stuff. When you only use a topic as a service, you don't have to run your own cluster, for example, your own Kafka cluster. So we abstract many different stuff so that they integrate these services and this logic. So yeah, they are kind of evolving. Also, we see that many of them even don't want to get rid of hardware constraints. They don't want to be able to okay, I need a database, how much CPU, how much memory, I don't care. I just want it and it have to run. And same for my application.
So we're more or less talking about serverless here.
Exactly. So serverless is, to me, the next step of the cloud development. Not in the sense of only Lambda or this kind of stuff, but it can be serverless compute or serverless storage, for example. Or you only get data in with APIs. But even for compute, it can be your traditional application that you just put, but you don't have the constraint to think what's the scaling model of my application, what number of CPU do I need, what kind of memory. You don't care. Push it. We will learn for it, and we will scale it as you need.
And according to you, is that compatible with multi-clouds?
Sorry?
According to you, is that compatible with multi-cloud?
Yeah, sure. Maybe the perfect example is how we enable disaster recovery. What we're working on is that if you want to enable disaster recovery for your app, you only just to click. And when you click, you can select the remote cloud. And what we do behind is we schedule this application with a sleeping size, so it's not costly at all. and we create an asynchronous replication on the other cloud of your choice. And we will make it possible to test it in real time. So it's kind of a rocking real-time disaster recovery.
So a pure example of multi-cloud.
And simplicity.
And simplicity. As expected, this was way too short, Steven. I guess we're going to welcome someone else on stage now. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks.